All right. That was kind of loud. All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to another episode of the ZUURcast. We're going to do some housekeeping stuff real quick before we get started. So this is episode 30, the big 3-0. We're finally getting up there. And this episode is going to be on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud. So we're making on to a third platform. I've been kind of dabbling in the YouTube stuff, but I feel like YouTube's more accessible, so I'm going to be doing that more often. And yep, moving on. I took all of December off. I didn't have a working laptop, and I got one. I got a laptop. I got this thing right here, MacBook Pro, but it only has USB-C slots. That's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
USB-C slots, and I just ordered a converter, so we're on the desktop to this table, and I just got some notes on my laptop. So for when we actually get started. So yeah, I hope you guys had a wonderful December. Hope you guys spent time with your family. Had some good holidays. Hopefully didn't gain too much weight. I know I did. So it's time to cut a little bit. So in December I had a powerlifting meet, and I'd been prepping for that since about August. If you guys have been following the podcast, you know that I've been injured since January. I separated my AC joint in January, did the full recovery for that, got fully back together in around June, July-ish, and when I started prepping for the meet, bench and deadlift were something that I had to rebuild into the meet, so I was starting from a disadvantage. What?
So that's not good.
Oh, it's not good, but we had to do it anyways. So, worked my way back up. I'd say I'm kind of close to back to where I was at, and with my with my bench. My deadlifts are still kind of low. I was working with a coach, Zach Skeltis. He was on one of my podcast episodes, and we did not peak properly, I feel like. It's kind of hard to do the whole online coaching thing sometimes because when somebody's not with you, they don't see how your body's reacting to the training. So it's a lot harder to make adjustments, especially some people have more difficulty with it than others. But I just signed up with a new coach, Joey Flex. He's worked with some top competitors in powerlifting. So I started my new program this week, actually. So it is way, the volume, the workload is a complete step back to what I'm used to. So I get in the gym, do about 3 exercises, and I'm done.
What?
And I'm done. Yep. So 30-minute workouts, 6 days a week. And yeah, so that's kind of a brief run through of certain things. We'll get deeper into it as this podcast goes on. But let me introduce my guest for the fourth time.
Yeah, fourth time.
Returning champion, Bardya.
What's up?
What's up? Yeah, word to my dog. Oh yeah, so corny. So we had a whole December where you actually competed in something too. He's been prepping for a boxing match.
I was prepping for a boxing
and we
match.
were talking about fighting, as you guys remember, in September. And why don't you tell them a little bit about what sparked that decision? What drove those gears into making that build of yours want to do boxing?
So I honestly have no clue how it started. I think it was Conor and Khabib's fight, and I was rooting for Conor. My friend was rooting for Khabib, and obviously Conor lost the UFC fight. And then I don't know what happened, but we got into a talk that I was like, "Oh, I'll avenge Conor's loss," or something like that. And then the guy was like, "All right, let's box." To see what you can do. And I thought he's just talking about, I'll just go hit a punching bag, heavy bag, and he's gonna do that in his gym, and then we're gonna meet like a month or two later, and just hit each other with that type of practice and see where it goes. And then after a week of I was doing the heavy bag stuff, he calls me and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been training with this boxing coach now for like 3 weeks now." I was like, "Whoa, you got a boxing coach?" Like, I don't know this was that serious.
Legit.
Yeah, I was like, I got this boxing coach. We got a bunch of sparring partners. There's like a bunch of professional boxers there. And then I was like, what? Okay. And then he's like, yeah, let's choose headgear that is. There are 3 types of headgear. We have one that covers the cheeks, one that covers the nose, and the other one for the amateur fights, like Olympics and stuff. It just covers your forehead and your ears. Over here, it's all open. And he was like, let's go with that one. And he chose small gloves. I was like, so you got a coach, bunch of sparring partners. You want to choose small gloves, and almost no protection for the head. So in my head, he was trying to, like, I don't know, attack me, or like some agenda. So I started ramping up my training. Initially, I was just hitting the bag, just, I don't know, 30 minutes a day, every day. And then slowly, as I started seeing his stuff, I got all crazy. By the end of the training, by the end of the prep, after 2 months, I was training 6-7 hours every day, multiple sessions a day, doing a bunch of cardio, a bunch of everything, and that pretty much, the monster I created ate my whole day, pretty much. Sleep, being the awake time and sleeping time. That was all I was thinking about, was just this match and how I should prepare to not fail. Yeah.
Oops. Ooh, careful. Don't break this table, big guy. Several things I want to dive into, but let's start off with you were hitting the bag 30 minutes a day. So when you're doing, so it was MMA, right?
No, boxing.
Just boxing. Okay. So you were doing just boxing, and there is a specific technique to it, right? When you're fighting. So what did these 30-minute bag sessions look like? Did you just go in and beat the bag, or did you research technique, proper punching skills? Do they call it hitting or
punching? Yeah, sparring, jab, cross. Yeah. It's not like I've never punched a bag before, so I knew basically how straight you should punch so you don't injure your wrist and all that. So you throw with power, you don't throw with your shoulder. You do body movements and stuff, but it wasn't too specific. I would say the first week I was just hitting it, just with no timing myself, not breathing properly. I would just hit it, and I would gas out. I would just take a break and then hit it again, and then gas out again, hit it, and then I started taking some.
Were you gonna say steroids?
No.
Oh, I was like, I heard a "st" in there. I was like, excuse me.
No.
Excuse me. It's fine. We don't care.
I started like remembering the stuff that I was, because I'm a huge Connor fan, and he was saying a lot about movement and being in the flow, and we also talked about that in the previous podcast.
State,
yeah. So I was like, let me back down a little bit from the bag, and let me do some that I can get the balance and get my hand-eye coordination and footwork all geared up. So there's this like slack line behind our gym. It's like a thick rope that you walk on. It's very wobbly, and it helps you with your balance. I started doing that. I got a jump rope. Started doing that. At first, I sucked at both of them terribly. I could not do a single jump rope properly, and then the slack line, I couldn't even stand on the damn thing for more than 5 seconds. I kept falling over. But I kept going with this. Started doing some weird yoga and handstands and stuff, so I can get to know my body properly. Because I would just go to the gym, just bang out weights, and you get the mind muscle connection through that, but not the boxing thing is totally different. And then, so I started doing movement stuff, and I was like, okay, I don't have a physical coach, but hey, there's a bunch of coaches on the internet, and by coaches can be anyone. So I chose my idols in boxing, and I saw what their coaches taught them. So I started ranking all right, who excites me the most in boxing? What I like the most? Not obviously. Obvious choice for a lot of people. Mike Tyson was my guy. So I started getting infatuated with Mike Tyson, and I pretty much started watching all his interviews, all his coaches' interviews, all his training, all that. Started kind of reenacting his training and with the stuff that I was doing with the heavy bag. And just building my mindset around that, and then slowly every 2 weeks or so, I would find like an add-on, like a different boxer, like Floyd Mayweather or Muhammad Ali or someone else to get some skills from them, because you want to be I can't copycat any of them really. They're masters of their craft, but of their own craft. But I can take like bits and bits from all of them and apply them to myself. And then so those were my coaches. I was like, Custom Auto is Mike Tyson's coach. That man lived in my head for 2 months straight, day and night, every second of the day. I would wake up listening to that guy, sleep listening to that guy. And he said something very interesting about boxing that is 75 to 80% mental. And I was like, what? That's crazy.
Right.
So I was like, that is great, because I like mental warfare and mind stuff way more than physical things. So when he said that, I was like, so there's, even if this guy even if he's more skilled than me in the 20% category, I can still beat him by the other 80 that I can, because the 80 of mind isn't, you create that. The 20, maybe you have coaches and stuff showing you what to do, but I was like, I'll outdo him in the 80%. Mm-hmm. So I started creating this like vision in my head of what this guy is doing, how he's preparing. I started creating this, like, one of the things Mike Tyson's coach is really adamant about is in his teachings is fear. Is that fear is the greatest fuel towards any goal. Like if you have fear and you know how to control it, you get to accomplish it way better than if you do it in anger or if you do it out of love or whatever. It's fear that's the driving force. So I started creating this like monster in my head of the opponent that I would be fearful of. So I was like, yeah, this guy has been knocking out everyone in his gym. His coaches love him. Everyone's scared of this guy. He has really great jab, cross hooks. He's really powerful, really strong. Has great stamina, all that stuff. So I was like, okay, that's the monster. Now I'm scared of that guy. So I started training to beat that guy. And I never looked at my opponent's pictures or trainings and none of his stuff. So I can have my own vision of what scariness looks like in my head, as fueling my fear. And then I also started slowly telling other people, like, hey, I'm doing this boxing thing. And I mainly did that as well, not to boast or anything. It was mainly again fear and humiliation. That hey, now like a lot of people
they have
know
something to live up to.
Yeah, right? It's like a lot of people, all my friends know this. Facebook people, Instagram, the gym people see this guy, and everyone comes and asks me, "What are you doing?" And I tell them, I have a boxing match coming up, so I'm trying to build my fear really high, so that if I fail, I have failed for a bunch of people. It's not like I just went into the ring and just got beaten and no one knew about it except the guy that beat me. I wanted to make sure that if I lose, it'll be the most humiliating thing that I've ever encountered.
I kind of do that too, but I mean, not out of humiliation. I think like there's the journey you have working up towards the match that I think like, you know, a lot of people could benefit from joining that experience with you of, you know, you working hard every day at the gym, you doing all this stuff. And then also, you know, I think it's good to be egotistical to some extent, thinking you're the shit, right? Walking loudly, but also carrying a big stick. That's like a saying one of my friends gave to me. And I think, like, you know, telling people, hey, I'm going to do a lot. In that sense, you got to back up your words with actions now.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I would actually, one of the things I one of the most terrible feelings I have is the feeling of being a hypocrite. I that's the worst thing. That's, for me, that's the worst thing. Worse than lying, worse than anything else.
What does your apartment look like?
Huh?
Is your apartment clean?
Yeah. Well, I just got back home.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got a few clothes on my bed, but it's pretty clean.
Sure. All right, keep going.
So yeah, being a hypocrite is one of my biggest, like, that's a no-go.
Sure.
So I would make like, write out workout plans, and I would post them, and I when I said I'm doing that, and I would find the craziest thing that I can think of and write it and post it. And then I was like, you know what? And maybe a lot of people just say, oh, I do this crazy stuff, but they never do it. For me, just saying that I do it, and if I didn't do it, it was the worst. It would have been the worst feeling ever. So
you had to.
So that was I had to do it. If I say 500 sit-ups, I had to do 500. Otherwise, I feel like I was a coward and a hypocrite.
Sure.
So I didn't really have much of an ego when I didn't have any ego when I started doing it. I couldn't jump rope, couldn't hit the speed bag properly, gas out in 2 seconds, can't run 1/5 of a mile, can't do anything. I just have, not compared to you, but I had big biceps and stuff compared to a non-lifting person. So I started coming up with all this weird workouts, and I started training my mind. A lot of, again, as I said, I put on Cuss, Mike Tyson's coach, on repeat, and started listening to all his lessons about how a coward feels, how a hero feels. One of his quotes that I really liked was, the difference between a coward and a hero. What is it, in your opinion?
Difference between a coward and a hero.
In terms of how they feel.
Okay, so a hero, I feel like, knows their shortcomings, very self-aware, knows which battles to pick, knows when they need to give it 110%, and knows when they need to take a step back.
In regards to how they feel.
Well, how they feel.
Not what they think. And
well, I know, but that's important, right? Because a lot of people mistake, like, cowardice for, being smart. So, I mean, like, just because you're not going all out in a certain moment does not mean that you are a coward, in my mind. But anyways, difference between a hero and a coward. I think a coward would just kind of give up because of fear, and a hero would be driven by fear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing you said. In regards to how a hero feels and a coward feels, they don't feel any different. They feel exactly the same. They both are scared shitless. They fear the opponent. But what he says is it's what the hero does that makes him a hero, and what the coward doesn't do that makes him a coward. In terms of what they feel, there's no difference. So when I heard that, I was like, man, this is great stuff, because I know I'm scared. I know the other guy is scared. He doesn't know I'm scared, but I know I'm scared and he's scared. So that gave me kind of like edge over him, that I know what's in your head, but I'm trying to play the hero role, and I'm going to put you in the category of the coward. So I started posting stuff on my Instagram, mainly for the humility thing, that other people see that I'm doing this stuff. Then if I fail, they just see me posting a bloody nose of myself. They're like, that's humiliating. And also I wanted to post stuff that the guy sees all my trainings, and he starts becoming more and more fearful, and to a point that cripples him. So that was my strategy, because I was like, even though I'm training so much, I'm pretty much gave my 20% of physical, what do you call it? I gave the edge in physical performance to him, but I was like, I'll beat you in the 80 mental part. So that was a quote from Cuss that I was like every day in my head. Okay, what does a hero do? What does a coward do? So I started with care and what do you call it? With control, start increasing my fear every day. Because if you just get scared all of a sudden, then you become crippled and you can't move anymore. So I would add dosages of fear to myself. I would be like, oh man, what happens if like your nose breaks, or what if you go blind or whatever?
Right.
And that for like an hour or so, that would really scare the hell out of me. I'll be like, man, I'm calling this guy. I'm gonna cancel this damn fight. This is stupid as hell. So I would get really, really amped up, scared, frightened, and I would jump in my car, go to the gym, and then just like kill freaking 3 hours of training, just really angry with just like, man, I'm gonna die if I don't do this damn thing right now.
Sure.
And then I would come out of the gym thinking, man, there's not a damn thing I'm not scared of nothing, not a damn thing. But then that's not a good thing either. Because if you sit in that, you become cocky and stuff. So again, I had to add fear again every day. Every day I add fear, and then sometimes I would be really scared, so I had to work out 3 times a day, 4 times a day, and then some days I was just like, and I'm a full-time student too.
What happened to all this Eastern Asian meditation, like being calm, that we talked about in September?
Oh.
Fucking way out the window. Let's just fucking ramp my CNS and just always be scared and fucking...
Well, no, it's
fight or flight all the time.
No, another thing that Cuss says is, in terms of training, that's the case. But you have to train, you have to do it. Cuss says you almost want to feel like you want to gut the damn person, gut like a fish.
Right, yeah.
But you must do it in the most calm and collected manner possible, with no emotions attached to it. So it's this weird thing. You train based on fear and stuff.
It sounds like. Have you seen Silence of the Lambs?
A little bit.
Do you know what it is? That's kind of what it is.
Hannibal Lecter and stuff?
Yeah, like calmly just slicing that fish.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, that's one of Mike Tyson's favorite movies. So, yeah. But you have to train yourself in fear, but when you step in there, you have to
also have fear.
No fear whatsoever when you step in there.
What's the concept of, training how you're going to perform at the competition?
Yeah, but like
trying to.
He says if a person doesn't have fear, doesn't have sense of anticipation. So if I'm not afraid, you just punch me and because I'm not afraid, just hit me. Right? But if I'm too afraid, I'll hold back. I can't perform well. So it's just like balance of knowing how to control, but also being cautious. But when you hit the bag, or when you get on the there's this thing there was this cardio machines that I would use.
Versa Climber.
Yeah, Versa Climber. Those you don't really need to be performing in the mindset that you're going to be competing in. In my head, I'm just like.
Use the rowing machine too.
Yeah, the rowing machine. All the equipments and just the heavy bag stuff. I would do it in a total sense.
Why didn't you hit me up? I could have like coached you into this.
Yeah.
I could have.
I don't know. I was just. I pretty much had nothing really around me for 2 months. I would, because I started developing this mindset it started getting scary a little bit. So I'm glad the boxing thing is over.
Are you gonna do another one?
No, I'll keep with the training, much less, but once a day I'll train similarly as I did before. But the mindset, I will completely ditch that, because I don't think. Well, some parts of the mindset I'll ditch, because one of the things, this is kind of creepy, but as I was walking on campus or wherever, this is very weird. I don't think like that anymore, but. I would
think you should share it if it's creepy.
Yeah, I won't share it. Well, basically, I was thinking of, okay, if every person is a walking target, what are the areas of a human body that you can hit with, and how it would damage them? So everyone, not that I would want to do it, but just like identify, because I didn't have any sparring partners or whatever. So
Right.
so I saw a bag, but I never see any hands or head or chin or whatever to see, okay, according to me, where this all stands. So every person that walks around me, I'm like, okay, I've identified the place, that the weak spots that I could hit you with or whatever. So when my opponent comes, I'm not caught off guard that all of a sudden there's a person in front of me. So that was, so yeah. So and that became kind of really weird because everyone's a walking target now. I'm just like, so I couldn't really talk to anyone at all for 2 months. When my friends came, I would be like, man, I don't really have much to talk about. Or my parents would be like, oh, why are you so aggressive all of a sudden and stuff. I'm like, well, I'm gonna die if I don't do this damn thing. Okay, this is my entire existence. And then I made this strange too. I made a bet. I'm not a really religious person, but I do believe in God. One night I made a bet with God, and I told him, if I don't put 100% effort into this, you can take away everything in my life away from me. Like, if I don't do 100% effort into this 2 months of training, you can take everything in the future that you're going to give to me. No family, no children, no money, no job, whatever. It's like, if I don't do this, you can take anything away from me. And that was a fear too. I was like, man, if I, not if I only lose, but I need to do it 100% effort. Because if I don't do this, I also made a bet with God that if I don't do this, my whole life is over. So that was the reason for my crazy
why
workout.
why are you going so hard? Like, what's driving this underlying motivation to put everything on the line and to do 110%? Because to me it sounds like you are taking the sprint approach to doing this instead of a long term, like, making this a part of your lifestyle, right? Because you get burned out very easily from just like, making a bet with God, going to the gym 6 hours a day, being afraid all the time, like that just sounds
for like, 2 months there's no way I can ease into it though.
Yeah.
In 2 months, I'm easing into it. I'll be like, okay, I'll do the running every day, I'll do boxing, but there's no sense of, the feeling associated with like that is gone now. But in 2 months, I have to go all out. I can't be like, well, I'm gonna ease into it.
But what inspired that?
What inspired me was, who the hell am I? Because I've always had this my whole life. Is like, oh, you're not disciplined, or you never apply yourself to stuff, or oh, you're lazy. You can never dedicate yourself to something, or I've had once in my whole life that I've dedicated 2.5 months to. It was when I was in Bellevue College. I took this math class that I applied myself similarly to this in a crazy fashion, day and night doing that calculus thing, but that person, and I was really proud of that person, but he got lost somewhere. So in a sense,
that person you were.
Yeah, that person that I was. So in a sense, I was like, I'm trying to rediscover that amazing, like, capable person.
Work ability.
Yeah, because I mean, everyone professors, hey, you're not disciplined. You don't work hard enough. Hey, where's your grades at? Why don't you do this? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this.
Something completely unrelated to your grades.
Yeah, no, but I'll do what I want to do. I called it. Well, I didn't call it. I don't know who called it. Purposeful suffering. You can stick a needle in yourself. That's suffering, but it's not purposeful. But I'll come up with something that has purpose, and I'll suffer, and that's the only way you can grow, in my opinion. What I discovered. So all this stuff combined fueled me to do the 2 months of extremeness, and I didn't really have any time to, like, you know what, I'm gonna ease into it, whatever. And I mean, the easing in part was the first week or 2 weeks that I was doing the yoga and trying to do the slackline stuff, get the mental zone properly and all that. But afterwards, it was extreme, because every once in a while, this guy would, because we also wrestled over summer, and I gassed out. And I fell on the floor after the end of the match. And he took a picture of me that I'm gassed out on the floor. And he kept sending it to me. He's like, that's what it's going to happen to you in 2 months. And that really put, and he put it on his wallpaper too. A picture of me on the floor. Just not that he beat me or anything. But I was just gassed out. And he was like, that's what's going to happen to you.
Was he trying to fuck with you? Or was it
I don't know. Well,
like,
yeah, he was trying to see that.
Motivate you? Or
No, he was trying. And that's where the 80% comes in. He thought. He knew he has to work.
Did you beat him?
Yes.
Good.
Good job. He knew there's some mental aspect to fighting as well, but all he knew from mental warfare is the trash talk that goes on in press conferences at UFC events. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Screw you, whatever. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna knock you out, whatever. And he thought that's the mental warfare, but he didn't know that I'm aware of all this, and I already have fear to fuel me. So when he's sending that me on the floor, that will just put my fear on steroids. That means it puts my workouts on steroids. So it's like you screwed yourself by sending me those pictures.
Right.
And then one time he sent me this picture. It's like, oh, in December 21st, I'll make you my bitch or whatever. And I was like, woo, like. And even in my crazy state, this even made me more crazy. I would just go like full on, like, so, and then I started, and I was like, you know what, this is not enough. I need to do more. So I got out of my comfort zone. Started anyone in the gym that would hit a bag, I would go up to them, be like, "What's your number? Let's spar." Or if you're not good, I'll just stand there and you can throw punches. Either I will move or I won't move. I won't even throw punches. You can throw punches at me if you're afraid of getting punched back. So I found
just you were getting random people at the gym to just spar with?
Yeah, just get random people. Some people were like, "Oh, I just want to punch you. I don't want to get punched." So I'll be like, "Okay, cool." I would just stand there, hands in my back, and just like dodge the punches. Initially, I was so afraid of like anything would come to my face. I would flinch and this. It was my first sparring session that I did. I gassed out in 30 seconds. Even though the guy was going like 20%, wasn't even hitting me. I was flinching so much, scared crapless.
Getting hurt is...
Yeah. So I was like, this is not good. This is terrible.
Yeah.
So I came up with a strategy of, in order to not fear getting punched, I would stand there and I would just have the dude slowly going from 0% effort to about 80% effort, throw punches straight in my face without me dodging them. Except my nose, I don't throw punches in my nose, but anywhere else in my face, I had him punch me just without me even dodging them. So I trained my eyes and stuff not to flinch every time something is about to come to my face. So yeah, I got about 14 people that I started sparring with. I would swap out partners mid-round if they got tired, and every day I would text someone. I was like, "Hey man, do you want to spar today?" And then also I was taking this business law class, and my professor had amateur boxing experience before, and I'll go to him sometimes and say, "Hey, what do you have any suggestions on?" Because he's actually the only person that I physically know that has ever boxed in his life. So I would go to him. He'll be like, "Man, you need a sparring partner. Just hitting a bag is crap. I don't care how much you hit a bag. If you don't have a sparring partner, you're going to be floored." And I was like, "Man, I need to get more sparring partners." And then the guy kept sending me pictures of me on the floor, and I told him, and then I became hostile towards him. I started analyzing everything that he's ever said in his life to me, and I would attack him. And then he started going like pulling backwards, and then he was like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" I was like, "What do you mean what's wrong with me? You keep jabbing. It's like sticking a needle in me. I'm gonna jab back at you." And I was like, the only way you can ever beat me is the way that you put the picture in your phone. Is an unprepared Bardya that gassed out. You will never beat me. If I lose, I've beaten myself because I didn't train well enough and I didn't have the cardio. There's no way you're gonna knock me out or anything like that. And I made him. and I planted that thing in his brain that the possibility of him knocking me out is none. The only way he can beat me is if I beat myself by not having enough cardio. And then we started training for after this, like a month in to the training. Then we had the not winter break, the Thanksgiving break. I went back. I saw him. I saw my other friends, and he saw kind of how serious I'm taking this, like a kind of lunatic type of seriousness towards this, and he started backing off a little bit. But then him backing me off even pushed me forward. So I don't know. I feel kind of bad for the guy because anything that he did fueled me more. You want to scare me, fueled me more. You feel scared, fueled me more. You cuss at me, that fuels me more. So it's like, I guess the best case scenario for him would have been to never talk or anything at all.
Right.
Anything that he said, I would get more fueled. And then the second month, the first month of training, I was training about 3-4 hours every day. I would do 2 sessions, 2-3 hours every day. The second month, I was training on average 2 times a day still, but now they were 6 hours. Each hour was 3 hours instead of, so 6 hours in total. And some days I would even do three sessions, which would be about 7.5 hours. And I'll be like, pretty much no stones unturned. We're getting the cardio in. I have people punching me in my face. I'm punching other people in the face. I'm hitting the bag. I'm doing the hand-eye coordination. I'm doing all the things, and this is just the training part. The rest of the day, including my sleep, because Cus was a huge believer on hypnotism and stuff, so I would have his voice pretty much talk to me the whole night when I was sleeping, because that's what he would do to Mike Tyson. He would go to him and say certain things to him over and over for like 20-30 minutes. But I had the privilege of having a computer, so I can have the same sentences just the whole night, just repeating that. So that was my training for at the night. I would wake up, watch sparring, watch fighting boxing matches, take notes. At night, watch stuff. So pretty much the whole day, and even in class, I would just go in the class, and just on the phone watch boxing footage and all that. And yeah, but still, I thought I had to force myself thinking that I would lose. Otherwise, if I thought, oh, I'm winning now, I would just take the foot off the gas. Mm-hmm. So every day is like, you're not doing this enough. You're not doing enough.
So tell them like a little bit about, after Thanksgiving break when you came back, leading up to the competition, what it was like, and then the day of. You kind of mentioned that you won, but you didn't really talk about being up there and being in the moment at the meet.
Yeah, so the training was, I talked about the training enough. This is, we set the weights for the fight initially at 178 pounds, and my plan was to get about 190 and then cut water weight a week before fight to weigh in at 178 but be at around 190 in the fight. And I've never when I started this training, I went from 170 pounds to 190 pounds and cut back water weight. Competed at 190 while being lean. I've never prepared to cut weight or lean or bulk, anything like that. Mm-hmm. So that was a lesson on that too.
So what was that like?
It wasn't as hard as everyone says. Like, I guess the fighters they're naturally like 180 pounds and they're cutting to like 140 maybe. That's the issue. I don't think cutting from 190 to 178 in a week is that daunting of a task.
Well, I mean, you already have a lot of water, right? So cutting that initial like 6 pounds is probably pretty easy.
Yeah,
and that gets harder the more weight you have to lose.
Yeah,
right?
I just looked up this thing that said, uptake your salt on a Monday, do 2 gallons of water, and then reduce your salt a little, do 2 gallons of water again, and then completely remove the salt day 3, and keep drinking the water because your body is used to now. And then you start pissing a lot of the water, and then because you don't have any salt in your body anymore, you start what do you call it? Even though you're drinking a lot of water, you're still dehydrating yourself because the salt ions are not attaching to the water molecules anymore. So your body, every time you drink, you piss. Nothing gets absorbed to your body. And then a day before the fight, I had no water at all. And I made the weight 176 actually. Same with him. We both weighed
and was the weigh in the day of the fight? You said
the day before.
Day before.
Yeah,
okay.
if it was day of, it would have been stupid for me to weigh in 190 and then cut because I wouldn't have been able to get back.
So what'd you do to get your weight back up? What'd you start eating?
Start drinking water as soon as I could. Start eating some peanut butter and some fatty, sugary stuff. Rice, and then that was bananas. This right after the weigh-in, and then I started eating normally. Okay. After that, just the way I've been eating. I ate the same food for 2 months straight: turkey and chicken, turkey and rice or chicken rice. Yeah. And that's what I ate for the day of and the day before the fight. My biggest. I was planning on staying in Pullman to stay with my training and the gym up to the day of the weigh-in. I was gonna make weights in Pullman, drive to Bellevue, weigh in, and then wait till the next day that I fight. I don't know what. In hindsight, it was a good thing, but at the time, that was I was really pissed. My parents kept pushing me that, hey, come, we miss you and stuff. My friends kept saying, oh, come, we want to see you.
Wait, so you stayed here?
That was my plan to stay.
Okay. That probably wouldn't have been good.
Because
I did that for my meet and the drive, and then having to cut weight. Well, I had to cut weight the morning of the meet, and there were just a lot of like small things that kind of like deteriorated. Like your performance probably wouldn't have been there if you had to drive.
Maybe well, I disagree because when I for you maybe powerlifting stuff is different, but but my family and everyone said you come earlier, so I came a week before the fight, and pretty much the mental state that I created stayed in Pullman. So when I got to Bellevue, that guy, the lunatic guy with the training and complete insanity, totally vanished. And then I didn't really have a gym anymore, so the fear started getting up again, but I had no way of getting it out anymore. So I was just like, totally 2 months of training, I in my head, I was like, 2 months of training went to shit because I can't do anything for a week now.
Well, that's just another obstacle, right?
Yeah. So, and then I was like, hey, how did you deal with fear the whole 2 months that you were in Pullman? Every time you have fear built up in you, you go and train, you go do something physical, or you do something about it. You can't just sit there and be like, I'm afraid now. You got to do a damn thing about it. So I started signing up for random memberships at gyms, even though they don't have any punching bag or no sparring partners or anything anymore. I started just doing cardio, at least do something. But
you were at the Redmond 24 too. Was that for just a day, or was
I did like Redmond 24 one day, the downtown 24 one day, and then
were you getting free guest passes? Or
I got a 3-day guest pass.
Okay.
So I went to so out of the week that I was there, I worked out in the gym 3 of those days. And then there was this thing on sauna that I was doing sauna every night for 2 months, and that builds up your stamina a lot because the science behind it is that your body will have more blood volume if you do the sauna consistently. So you actually have to carry more blood with you, but it's not attainable for your body. It's not attainable. Is it for your body? Is that the word?
What's not attainable?
The body doesn't want to have that much blood in it.
Sure.
Yeah. So when you stop doing it within 2 or 3 days, the effects of the increased blood volume goes away.
Okay.
And that was freaking me out too. I was like, man, my cardio is now gonna suck. I don't have nothing. I was like, hey, what are you gonna do about it? You're just gonna cry and lose? No, you don't have sauna, whatever. You could go wear more clothes and feel the heat from that. And then I started...
Sit in the oven.
Yeah.
Just open the oven and just turn that baby up.
And then I couldn't really have that mindset anymore because I'm in my parents' house now and I can't be all lunatic in this and be all angry. They're like,
God damn it, Dad!
Yeah,
I told you not to talk to me.
Yeah, I got in a fight with them as soon as I got home. I was like, get out of the house. Like, I haven't seen you in so long, and you come with this attitude. Get the hell, go back to Poland. I don't see you with this attitude. I was like, man, I want to be in this war mindset, but now I'm stopped with my parents. I can't do that anymore.
You can still do that.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
It's like, get out of my house if you have that mindset.
Yeah, just like be on edge with your parents. Kind of just like be a little abrasive. You know, don't really fight with them, but just be like, yeah, you know, just be brief. You know, don't. No, I'm just kidding.
Doesn't work. Persian houses
I'm joking. Yeah, Persian houses are hard. I think you have to make them understand what you've been prepping for, and you have to be very careful with your words, and you have to be so stuck on your goal that not the environment, the situation, wherever you're at doesn't really matter. You still have that goal, you have that agenda, you need to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, with lifting, I've been doing this for 10 years almost. Like, I've not always been in the same spot. I've not always been in the same gym. And I think that's what differentiates, you know, your fight, your build up to your fight was short-lived, right? So, I mean, it's a lot harder to create that sustainability when you're doing those long workouts, creating that fear that we were talking about, and to change environments, right? Because you're so used to one thing. But that's just another dimension of mental toughness, is just being stuck on your goal so much that the environment or the circumstances don't really matter as much. Like, let's say me, for example, right? The circumstances, like, I'm a week out, I'm freaking tired as fuck, dehydrated, I have headaches, you know, my body feels like I've been hit by a truck, right? You know, I could let that make me, like, I could let that deter, you know, my training and be like, okay, you know, it's probably not a good idea for me to train in this physical state, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do, right? And just go and finish your job and then come back, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, those circumstances are more difficult for me, whereas for you, it might have been, like, environmental. Or, like, sometimes I just kind of lose touch with what I'm doing, or, like, why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
and for you, probably it's less hard to lose that mindset because you've been in it for so long.
Yeah.
For me, I created that mindset in 2 months, and it doesn't really take much to get out of that mindset because I've only created it for a short period of 2 months out of my 21 years of life. That's only 2 months that I've ever had this thing. So it's like, you want to keep grabbing it, then the mindset goes away. So again, like as you said, you gotta find ways to create that mind frame again. So what I did was hey, I don't have a boxing heavy bag. Okay, who cares? I went to our garage and started punching the wall in the garage. Yeah.
What?
I was like, man, I gotta do this. And then
what?
Yeah.
Dude, did you like put holes in the wall?
No, it was a metal wall, so I just had my knuckles bloody.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
You're fucking going crazy. What the hell?
And
If I was your dad, I'd kick you out.
My dad came. He was like, "What? Is there an earthquake? Whatever." I was like, "No, I'm just punching the wall, as you can see."
Dude, you know what you could do? You could, like, strap the wall with, like, pillows or something and, like, punch a cushion and not a metal wall that you could possibly hurt yourself with, you know, and not be able to do the competition. So
I wasn't going like a super, like, a hardest
You said your
punch
knuckles
possible.
were bloody.
Well, yeah, the skin is bloody. The bone is intact, though.
What?
The bone is intact. The
Do
skin
you
is
know
ripped
what do they call it? Fucking gradual injuries are. Fuck. Like, I can't think of the word right now.
Hey, this is 4 days before the fight. I got no time to think. I need to do some crap because I'm panicking.
Okay, if it's 4 days before, I guess you don't have time to build up an injury like that. So.
And then I was like, so I did that. I started shadowboxing in the garage.
Chronic injuries. That's how chronic injuries happen.
Yeah. I had so many of those. It's like I was injured all over my body. But I was like, I don't give a
How do you
crap.
feel now?
Still, my
Does your dick hurt?
no, I got this thing, tibialis or whatever. It's next to your shin bone.
Patellofemoral
Tibialis, tibula, whatever it's called. Yeah, and I got that from doing so much jump rope. They say when you want to jump rope, you got to do it like 5 minutes every day. When you first start, you got to do jump rope 5 minutes maximum a day and do it 3 times a week only. When I first started, I was doing 2 hours of jump rope every day. Of course, not consistent, like not in one go. I kept failing, but I was doing it 2 hours every day, and it's like my shins were in so much pain. Started getting tendon because I used to arm wrestle a lot. I got my tendonitis and my bicep came back.
You did
professional
arm wrestling.
Yeah, so the pain in my bicep came back. That came in a month into the fight. I found out that I can't throw punches with my right hand. So I had to. So I'm a right-handed guy. So you find an orthodox means your power hand is in the back. But since I was like, I don't have no damn power hand if this thing goes out, so I have to completely learn how to be a southpaw person. Well, that's a totally different position.
A what?
Southpaw, which means you're
the show.
Yeah, orthodox means the right hand dominant person. Southpaw means left hand dominant person. So you stand totally mirrored of what you used to. So and I have really crappy left hand, not coordinated or nothing.
Same.
So that required a lot of training too. So these were all my injuries. I was like, man, I don't care. You got to build around it. Your foot hurts. I started training on my head movement. My right arm hurts. I'll punch with my left hand. As long as I'm alive, I'm gonna find a way that I can beat this guy, and I was preparing for it. So yeah, I was the last few days I was punching the wall in the garage and doing jump rope and shadow boxing. That was one of the best workouts I've had in the 2 months of training. I had no equipment, but that was the most intense and the best workout that I've had this whole time.
You ever do the thing where they like put the blindfold on and they like try to like feel out the environment?
Yeah, I didn't really need much blindfold because there's no light in the garage.
Okay.
So I couldn't really see anything. But
yeah, like a heightened sense. Your other senses kind of heighten.
That's actually I train. Not when I'm sparring with someone or hitting a bag, but my other stuff. I take off my glass. I'm pretty much blind without my glasses. I take off my glasses and I don't wear contacts, and I cover my ears so I don't hear anything. Put stuff in my ear so I don't hear anything or see anything, and so I can feel out my body and stuff better.
Yeah,
I was doing that part of my training too, and then the guy invited me to his house a few days before the fight. And I heard from friend of friends that he has said to them that he is probably going to lose to me.
He said that?
He said that to other people.
Why?
I don't know, because no training for that 80%.
He didn't train?
That 80% of the mental.
Huh.
There's going in. You can have all the coaches, all the trainings you want or whatever, but if you don't know the psychology of... See, he thought he was the only person scared.
Mm.
But I knew from day 1 or day 5 or whatever that every time I'm afraid, it's almost guaranteed that he's afraid as well.
Sure.
So I did that. Didn't really. So I did stuff with my fear. He didn't.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think that mental stuff does? Do you think it makes it so you anticipate blows better, or position yourself better, or brings a different energy to the stage, right?
Yeah, so the fear and stuff is mainly to fuel your training.
Yeah.
So one of Mike Tyson's stuff was that every day and night he dreamt of his opponents beating him, and he was scared shitless. And he never said that until he retired at age 50. He said that at the time he was like, I'm not afraid of a damn person. But now he says I was scared and afraid, and I had to do it so I can train properly. I was like, I got a golden ticket right there. Be afraid of the guy. But he said when you step in the ring, all the things that I feel like this guy's gonna beat me and all of that when it goes. He said all of it goes away you're the king now. You're the god in the ring when time comes. But for the whole preparation, you're scared shitless.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, and I had that on repeat. So I was like, this what's gonna, because I never had experience in the ring before. I was like, man, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna be scared, and you're not gonna be scared in the ring. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but you won't be scared in the ring because Mr. Tyson is saying that, and you gotta listen to that. And I was okay. And then this guy the guy on boxing invited me to his house 2 days before the fight, and this is what and I because he's also my friend. So now I see why it was good that I came to Bellevue a week early, and I lost pretty much the entire mindset of that thing, because I probably would have damaged my friendship with him because I was in a total zone of killing him or whatever. Mm-hmm. But when I saw him, I was like, hey, I'm a human. I'm doing engineering. He's doing that. He's a human. He's my friend or whatever. I don't really want to kill this guy or whatever, but I've trained like I want to kill him. But that's okay. I'll lose that mindset 2 days before the fight or whatever. But based on the stuff that I was telling him of how I've been training and stuff, he stayed up the whole night recalling the stuff that I told him, and he pretty much...
Is that what he told you?
Yeah. And after the fight, and he knew guaranteed that there's no way he's going to win that fight anymore.
Sure.
So in a sense...
So, I mean, you keep talking about how you won, how this mental stuff helped you. What was the actual fight like?
So the fight, so we...
Did you just beat him up, or did you guys trade blows, or what?
So we stepped in the ring. I had a list of, because I never had a ringman or anything. I just had a few calls that I had written up for one of my friends that was my ringman. I had the word cuss. I had the word certain moves. I wrote down and I gave it to him. I was like, hey, at this minute, yell out cuss, because in my mind that was so I can remember the name of the coach and all the stuff that it was saying. He didn't know what it was saying, but it was just yelling out cuss, or he was saying certain moves. So I told the guy in my ring, say these at this time, and then he gets in the ring. I get into the ring. My opponent gets in the ring. I get into the ring, and he's like, okay, 6 2-minute rounds as we discussed, 30-second break in between rounds. And he's telling me to protect yourself at all times or whatever. And in my head, that dude came back again. That wanted to kill him, whatever. And I just looked at him. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just give him the hand, touch gloves, and we went back. And this is the funny part. I told him exactly what I'm going to do second by second of the fight before it did. I was like, hey, everyone, which is dumb on my part, but I did that to... In my head, I wanted him to be prepared for the stuff that I was doing, so it would be harder on me, and at the same time, I don't catch him off guard. I told him, usually boxers get in the first round, they just throw the jab to get the distance stuff right. But what I'm going to do is the first punch I'll throw will be a jab cross straight in your face, straight in your eye. So be prepared for that. And that's exactly what I did. I went in. No one ever does a jab cross straight as soon as you get in. That means you have absolutely no respect for the opponent if you do that. Mm-hmm. And I go in there, bam, jab cross, hit him in the head, and he started running, and I started running around the ring, and I started running after him, started hitting him. At second 8, he said, stop. And I was like, stop what? So I started talking to him, and I was like, stop what? What do you mean?
Did he surrender?
And he was like, no, nothing. Like, what? So we started going back and forth again. I hit him, and this. At the end of the first round, his shoulder went out, and he was like, "Oh, my shoulder, whatever." And in my head, I didn't want to stop the fight there. I've trained way too much to be just like, "Oh, the dude got injured," or he just said stop, and I stopped. So I was like, "All right, take a breather, whatever. When you're ready, we'll do the next round," which is not really how you do it. The dude said stop, or my shoulder hurts. You're done. You're out. The ref is kicking you out. But I was like, I was so confident that I'll give you your rest. You can do whatever. I know I'll beat you, and then I'm not gassing out either. I'm prepared to go. The fight was 6 rounds of 2 minutes. I prepared for 8 rounds of 4 minutes. There's no way I'm gassing out. He did his rest. Second round, he came in. Again, I hit him left and right. Whatever, ran away again, and I hit him. Third round, same. Fourth round, same. I hit him. I hit him with a few illegal shots, which I gave him time to recover as well, because I hit him in the back of the head because he was running away from me. His back was towards me, and I was mid combo, and I would just hit his head, and I would give him time to rest. But the fourth round, he pretty much was like, "Oh, this is the towel. I'm done." And then he threw in the towel, and I hugged him and said whatever, thanked him for pushing me and all that. And then I got super emotional right after the fight. Right after the fight was over, and I ran into the bathroom and started crying. And everyone was like, "Wait, come back! Let's take a picture or whatever." And I just ignored the hell out of it. Just ran into the bathroom, and I started crying. Not crying, but I was like, I felt like I made all the
you accomplished.
Yeah, I made all the people proud. All the people proud. The people I admire. Like I feel like I made Mike Tyson proud, Cuss proud. All the heroes that I liked, I made them proud. I felt like every day every day that the guy was working out, I rewarded them with a win. Every day they went and they worked out hard, which is me. But in my head, I was like rewarding everyone with that win. And then I came out, took a picture, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not done yet. Bring in the next opponent. and then the guy's like, oh, you want to fight? I'm like, yeah, let's fight. And I asked,
that's when you lost, right?
Yeah, and then I asked the guy, one of the other guys, I'm like, how long has he been is he good? He's like, no, he's crap. We get in there, and I'm tired. My hand hurts. No excuses, but I'm already
You're
crying.
spent, yeah.
I'm already crying. I'm emotional and this. So he gets in and I go jab cross again. I hit him and I'm like, man, why is this guy not backing off? The other dude was running away from me. This guy's... and this guy was like 6'4" and probably weighed in 50, 60 more pounds than me.
What?
I didn't even care, though. I was just like, bam, I hit him. And then he hit me with a few shots that I was just like, whoa, what the hell was this? And I started getting tired, so I started breathing through my mouth. And so my jaw was open, and he hit me in the jaw, and I was just like, whoa, what the hell is this? And he cornered me. And I got into my defensive position and was just like lighting me up. I threw in a good shots to his face. I threw in 4 punches. He threw probably like 60 punches while I was in the corner. My 4 punches damaged him more than the 60 that he did. So he grabbed me, threw me to the other side. He didn't want none of that anymore. And he threw me to the other side of the ring. Bam. This is the part that I was done. He hit me in the liver. There's nothing you can really do after you get hit in the liver. The head, you're still there, but he hit me in the liver, and I was like, okay, man, you win, whatever. I gave him a hug, whatever. I was like, thank you very much. And then I was like, you know what? Screw this. Your coach. So I told the guy, I was like, tell your coach to come in. So his coach comes in.
You want to fight his coach?
Yeah, he was like, well, we're not doing a fight. I was like, all right, 60-70%. He's like, sure.
Oh.
So I do 3 rounds with him, and I mean, his nose is a little bit bloody. And I was like, yeah, that's good shit. So I did 4 rounds with the first guy, 1 round with the second guy that beat my ass, and third guy, the coach. I mean, obviously he was holding back. He's been training for freaking 27 years. I've been training for 2 months. But he told me at the end, it was like, if you look like you've been training for a few years, that's not 2 months of training. I was
sure.
Like, well, whatever. I tried, and the second guy has been training for like 10, 12 years.
Okay.
But still no excuse. He beat my ass. But yeah, and then the fight was over, and I was safe. My friend was safe that I punched. Well, not safe. Like he was injured and I was injured, but nothing broke.
Right.
No one got blinded or
no
whatever.
real injuries.
And then and that was over. And then And then this is the thing: no one really understood, except that guy. The fight that I fought, no one understood. My parents didn't understand. My friends didn't understand. Really, they did not get how I've trained or the mindset that I was in. They were extremely disrespectful of what I did.
Did they watch you?
Yeah, my mom didn't come. She thought this is a stupid thing. A lot of people said, "Oh, okay, so you punched him and you won. That's nothing. I can do that." I was like, "Really? You try doing this damn thing? Really? Tell people go stand there and just throw 10 punches in the air with full force. They will gas the hell out."
Right. No, I know.
Without even getting punched back or anything. And so everyone thinks it's easy and that. So no one respected what I did really. And I didn't really just did this to earn anyone's respect. I wanted to earn my own respect. And I posted a long thing on Facebook, just mainly for myself to say, okay, what are the things that I learned through this, and any other person that wants to hear about them, or they can read some stuff that I went through. And I had a few people that reached out to me. They're like, "Oh man, this made me so happy. You motivated me to go work out, or you did this to me, or whatever." And I was like, "Okay,
right.
That's great. That makes me happy." And then my plan was, as soon as the fight is over, I will go back to training 2 times a week, 3 times a week at 5% effort, and I will never do any boxing again. And then a few nights ago, I was running in a park. This actually on New Year's, the New Year's Day or whatever.
New Year's Eve.
No, the night of that becomes the New
midnight.
Year. Yeah, midnight.
New Year's Day.
I was running in a park at night.
Set the scene. You were in the park.
I was
Bellevue, downtown Bellevue. There were lights.
No, not downtown. It's Linwood.
It was Linwood.
It's a creepy park, dark. You don't see anything.
It was very dark, pitch black. You couldn't see anything
not a damn thing.
You, your mind, your music, and your feet. You were just running.
Yes, and I was running, and then
what were you thinking about?
All the stuff that I was listening. I learned that music gives me my identity. Every time